that they would hold up as the heart of our Christian practice. 1 John says, when we love one another, God loves us. Now, many of us may be of caring for our loved one who is transitioning this life to sometime soon. Mary gives us, because when we're in that moment, we sometimes are afraid, what is the right response? How to care for my loved one? Mary says, whenever we respond in love, it is the right response. Reading a book about prayer, a woman named Sister, an English nun, wears full habit. She has buck teeth and very fun. PBS, she sometimes talks and takes people through, as you before. Yeah, very funny woman. She was writing about prayer, and she was an experience she had in New York City. It was at a St. There was a office about his level of intimacy, the way he delivered the sermon. Another preacher commended him on how powerfully articulate it was, and the preacher made the comment, the older Jesuit priest who made the comment, and he said, prayer really is words to engage the intellect, what matters, challenge. Prayer being the easy out really stuck with Sister Wendy. She's right. You see, I think, she said, a simple way, but its simplicity is actually intimidating, because it seems to be the last thing most either know or want to know. We want to respond with lots of other different ways, rather than simply offer ourselves in prayer to God. I think we feel the same love itself. It is a simple way, often overlooked. We have to respond to people in a more complicated way. When people how in the world, they say, well, I follow the rule, I love my neighbor as myself, and whenever I it's a defensive excuse, as if okay, I don't need to further develop my compassion heart. But God calls deeper. That defensive posture is kind of like living life on the edge, if you will, not willing to go deeper. So I'm wondering, for us here today, willing to take a deep plunge into the deep waters of love. If we're willing to move away from ours, to swim out away into the waters of love, the only response we is self, because that's who we are. Sister Wendy, when she talked about prayer, she talked about its simplicity and sometimes its intimidation, because it is the same with love. I thought about that, and I thought we're acting out of what comes up for us. Why is it different? When Mary offers her heart to Jesus, she does it in a full way. And when we love another in a way, if what comes up for us are we too want to be loved. Because love really demands that we live unconditionally. And we love another unconditionally, knowing that that's about. Can we in response knowing that this is who we are and we love? We love because that's who we are. One of the other aspects about love which brings us into the details of another. We have to look and accept their action. We may not want to see that. Love brings us, as Mary did, to the calluses of another's life. To hold and there. To notice the imperfections of another. Our minds return to Mary anointing Jesus. The great love for us. And perhaps she is also a great model of prayer. Think about that. As her knee holding Jesus. That sounds to me a lot like prayer. As we give our heart, ourselves, and love to God, seeking to know God more deeply for ourselves. God, let me see and understand your heart. Let me come to know the forgiveness that is you. Let me come to understand you as resurrection and life. Let me love you unconditionally. As we offer our hearts to God in love and follow, seeking to know more about God, we have an opportunity to do that starting next week. Next week is Palm Sunday. Invited in to follow Christ through a ministry he offered to us. And I invite us to seek to know the details of that experience, of that ministry, in love, so that Easter is not just a celebration of resurrection, it becomes a joyful, done in gratitude for what was. Mary, the feet of Jesus, extra time anointing the soles of feet which brought us the good news of God. Jesus' feet were held by that experience of generous care. His disciples by that experience. Mary showed us the depth to which you and I could love. And our gospel lesson says, the house was filled with the fragrance. God's love anoint us. The way Mary anointed Jesus and encouraged us to follow Christ.